What's up, ladies and gentlemen? So we're starting a new series. We're going to start reacting to some content online. We're going to start reacting to some different videos, some of my old videos, some of my popular videos, and it'll take us down a stroll through memory lane, but also I think it'll be relevant because I can talk to you guys about particular things from the video. So we'll start with how to nail the first 30 seconds of a cold call. I posted it 5 years ago and it has about 700,000 views, and we're going to review it. I'm going to react to it, give you my opinions of seeing myself, but also maybe some pointers or adding to the actual video itself. All right, so let's get into it.
Welcome to another video. I hope you enjoyed the last video of us.
Who is this guy? I don't even recognize him.
Aaron with the Lamborghini. That was really cool. I really enjoyed making that video, and it was cool to see his reaction. Anyways, how to nail the first 30 seconds of your cold call. Now, the first 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds are the most crucial. We know that because the majority.
You see the at Bryan Casella there? That took me so long. It took me like an hour and an editor to figure out how to do it, and people were making fun of me, right? This is back when I was still, even though I was pumping out my own content, I still wasn't really editing stuff, and my channel had grown tremendously. So for all of you not making content because you don't have all the lights and the editors and all that, you don't need them.
Majority of people get frozen, get nervous, or get shut down in the very beginning portions of a cold call. I want to give you some very basic and simple tips just to help you out, to maybe not get you to 100% success rate, but get you closest to 100% as possible. Remember, there's no tried all true way that's going to get you 100% success all the time.
Yeah, I'm glad I brought that up in that video, right? Even if you know all the techniques and you do everything perfect, you're still not going to get the result 100% of the time. And it's important that you understand it, because I see people blow things out of proportion. They think that they can magically sell to everybody. They think everybody should listen to them. And that's just not the case when you're prospecting, cold calling, door knocking, and that kind of stuff. So I'm glad I brought that up.
All the time, that's just not possible. Okay. So in the beginning of a cold call, what a lot of you do is, the mistake that you make is you don't mirror and match people right away. If somebody speaks very quickly and says, hello, who's this? You want to speak quickly. Say, hello, this is Bryan. Okay. The biggest thing that I see is somebody will misstep there. Okay.
Yeah, that's key, because that hijacks rapport, right? If I hijack your syntax, your words, and also your rate of speech, I'm effectively through the phone mirroring and matching to the best of my abilities. An additional one, I don't know if I cover it on this video, is I need to meet you where you're at from an emotional standpoint, your emotional state. If you're a little bit upset, I'm going to denote that in my voice. If you're happy and cheerful and enthusiastic, I'm also going to do that. And it's important that as you develop your skill, you tune into those things.
Okay. Now, mirror and match, I mean, you literally copy them, their tone, their pace, their volume, as much as possible. Okay. That breeds an air of familiarity and now takes them farther away from this is a cold caller to maybe I know this person.
Yep.
Okay. Now,
triggers people subconsciously. That's why it takes them out of the mind frame, the conscious mind frame of this is a salesperson, go away to you doing things in a particular way where they're like, wait, maybe I do know this person. And that's what buys you the next 5 or 10 seconds.
If I'm calling somebody where I know the name, like let's say it's John, if a male answers the phone, I'm going to say, hey, John. If he says, hey, hello, I'm going to say, hello, John. Almost assumptively saying like, yeah, John, that's you. Yep. That gets him to now say, wait, who's this? Instead of saying, hello, this is Bryan, I'm looking for John, which is how a typical sales call will go, right? You know the difference, you see the difference now. That may not be John. I'll say, okay, cool. Can you pass the phone to John? This is Bryan. Again, even if I introduce myself.
Being assumptive is huge. I still see people make this mistake a lot in sales. When you're assumptive, you're taking the lead and you're making it easier for somebody to comply with your request. That's why on a subconscious level, that's so effective.
I'm going to say it assumptively. Because if I call and it's not John, hey, pass the phone to John, this is Bryan. You know how many times I've said that and they just pass the phone and they're like,
most of the time.
And I hear John, he's like, wait, who is that? Like, I don't know. But since I did it assumptively, the guy doesn't ask me, who is this? It doesn't happen every time, but you get what I'm saying. It's all about how you do it. So I want to eliminate the feeling of sales and ignite the feeling of we might know this person.
Exactly.
Okay. From there, when you introduce yourself, a lot of people will say, how are you, or something like that. Stop doing that, right? They know you don't give a shit.
Yep. If you contact people that you already know, you're following up, yes, then ask them how they are, because you have rapport, it's established, and you have a connection, and it's genuine. If it's a stranger, asking them how they're doing, they know that's just one of those social cue formalities. They know it's not sincere, and they would actually appreciate it more if you got to the point. And this is why I still recommend to people to stop asking people how they are, because they know you don't care. And even if you do, they still think it's disingenuous.
I know you don't give a shit. You're just doing that because you feel it's like
You can hear the airplane in the background, dude. Between airplanes and helicopters in LA, god damn, there was never peace and quiet in my house. And that's one of the things I love about Miami. I've heard in the 2.5 years I've been here, probably 2 or 3 times I've heard a helicopter over my house. It's incredible.
it's like the polite, right thing to do. It's socially acceptable. Throw that out the window. Okay? Everybody else is doing that. One of the biggest tips I can give you is stop doing what other people are doing. The majority, stop. Okay? You drop that, you get right to the point.
So for all of you also, I want to pause this, that say, oh, you were always a good speaker. Compare how I was speaking 5 years ago to now. There's zero comparison, right? So imagine where I was 5 years before that when I started in real estate and online.
You're going to ask anything in the beginning, say, do you have a minute?
If you're going to ask.
Or you got a second? Okay? Because then that's being respectful of their time. That's the one thing you can ask that now is genuine. Okay? Don't say, how are you, and all that other stuff. Do you have to ask that? No. Sometimes I get right into it. Every once in a while.
Yeah, so I'll ask that typically if I hear something in the background, their kids, or it's obvious that they're busy, because then that gives them the opportunity to give me permission to continue talking.
I'll ask if I hear kids in the background or some kind of distraction. I'll acknowledge it. Say, hey, I hear kids in the background. I hear a lot of commotion in the background. Is it cool? I can call you back. And they'll say most of the time, no, it's cool. Just make it quick. Perfect. Next, after you introduce yourself, it's Bryan with Keller Williams Real Estate Company, or whoever it is that you're calling from. Okay. You let them know I'm only going to be a second. I'm only going to be a minute. I just have a few quick questions.
So the false time constraint eliminates that question that a lot of people have, which is how long is this person going to try to keep me on the phone or keep this conversation going? And by you saying that, it alleviates some of that pressure. So it's good. False time constraint.
By saying this, you answer their initial question, whether this is in person or over the phone, which is, how long is this guy going to try to keep me on the phone? Okay. Now, usually at this point, you're already near 30 seconds, or you're at 15 or 20 seconds. Now, your first line, get right to it. Tell them, hey, I'm calling because the reason I'm calling is because, boom. Make it straight to the point. It shows that you're respectful of their time.
Yeah, I like that. And that's pretty much how the video ends, guys. So I can see why this video had so much popularity and blew up. And to this day, it still gets a lot of views. It's at over 700,000 or just around 700,000, is because 90% of people can't make it past the beginning of a call. And when you can't make it past the beginning of a call or the beginning part of an interaction, you can't even get into the conversation if you're a salesperson to qualify them or do anything else. So that becomes the issue for most people, is they can't even make it past that. And when you can't, then you have no chance. So since most people are new and struggle with that, that's why videos like this are so popular. Okay, so that's the first installment of reaction videos. If you guys enjoyed this, leave me a comment below that you did. If this is something you would like for me to do, again, leave a thumbs up. And also, if there's any videos you would like for me to react that could be related, non-related, I'm more than happy to do it. Either comment below the video or link the video itself in my comment section, and I'll see and I'll pick one and I'll do a reaction. All right, that's it for this one, guys. Peace.